message of love and sends those who hear to bring the message to everyone in a voice loud and clear. Let us tell the world of His love, the greatest love the world has known. Search the world for those who have walked astray and lead them home. Fill the world's darkest corners with His light from up above. Walk every step, every mile, every road, and tell the world of His love. For God so loved the world, He gave us His only Son, Jesus Christ our Savior, His most precious one. He has sent us His message of love and sends those who hear to bring the message to everyone in a voice loud and clear. Let us tell the world of His love, the greatest love the world has known. Search the world for those who have walked astray and lead them home. Fill the world's darkest corners with His light from up above. Walk every step, every mile, every road, and tell the world.
We're starting in 3 minutes po.
Search the world for those who have walked astray and lead them home. Jesus Christ our Savior, His most precious one.
He has sent us His message of love and sends those who hear to bring the message to everyone in a voice loud and clear. Let us tell the world of His love, the greatest love the world has known. Search the world for those who have walked astray and lead them home. Fill the world's darkest corners with His light from up above. Walk every step, every mile, every road, and tell the world of His love. For God so loved the world, He gave us His only Son.
A blessed day, KADSA
Christ our
educators.
Savior.
Welcome to day 1 of the 16th edition of our annual assembly and the first ever KADSA Virtual General Assembly. My name is Mr. Rafael Patrick Pecpo from San Jose Academy, your program moderator this afternoon. It brings me great pleasure to moderate this year's edition of our annual assembly and to actually engage with like-minded colleagues from the different KADSA schools. As we celebrate the 5th centenary of the coming of the Christian faith in the Philippines, KADSA continually commits itself in its mission of evangelizing today's youth. We have received gift of faith from the Lord, and so we continue to pass the same faith to the next generation of Filipinos who would stand as witnesses to Christ in the future. Thus, the theme, KADSA Family, gifted to give in faith and mission. Just a few minutes ago, our assembly commenced with a Eucharistic celebration presided by our beloved Bishop of the Diocese of Kalookan, Most Reverend Pablo Virgilio S. David, D.D. At this point, we are now preparing for our opening ceremonies and the plenary session. But before that, allow me to give you a couple of announcements. Our assembly is currently streamed live on Facebook. So if you haven't done so yet, please feel free to share this one by clicking on the share button so we could get to reach more people this afternoon. While you are at it, please do not forget to like our Facebook page. If you have any concerns regarding the session or if you need any assistance, please get in touch with Mr. Georgie Wanerio, our KADSA Executive Secretary. I do have to tell you that if you want to win in our raffle prizes, you need to finish the entire assembly. So before we jump right in, let me just acknowledge the growing number of viewers on our Facebook live stream. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. And to formally begin with our program, may I request everyone to please stand as we sing the Philippine National Anthem. formally welcome us in this gathering, let me now call on the Superintendent of Kalookan Diocese Schools Association and the Vicar for Catholic Education, Reverend Father Kennedy A. Neral, PhD. Let us give him a virtual applause, fellow educators.
The message of His Holiness Pope Francis on the occasion of the meeting organized by the Congregation for Catholic Education, Global Compact on Education, together to look beyond, I quote, "We consider education to be one of the most effective ways of making our world and history more human. Education is above all a matter of love and responsibility handed down from one generation to another. This present year is the most disruptive year that our world today is in crisis, that affected our lives, our families, our work, our schools. But nonetheless, education must not stop. It is an ongoing process of growth, even amidst pandemic. We, the Kalookan Diocese Schools Association, are not spared in this most trying and turbulent time, but it is an opportune time to renew our faith in God and expel the fears of uncertainties that this pandemic has wrought upon us. It is our renewed faith that will help us embrace a new beginning for our communities and our schools. I have never thought, even in my wildest dream, that the KADSA Virtual General Assembly will happen, but this opportunity became feasible to come together as a communion of Catholic schools in the Diocese of Kalookan, as the evangelizing arm of the Diocese, of the young minds, and to all stakeholders. With the theme, KADSA Family, gifted to give in faith and mission. Hence, the KADSA 16th and first Virtual General Assembly is a grace to connect our KADSA schools, an opportunity of opening portals for sharing ideas and inspirations through digital means. This will be further amplified since there are no limitations of space, only vast opportunities for our stakeholders and partners to participate in a truly engaging, unique, and relevant KADSA General Assembly. On behalf of our local ordinary, His Excellency Bishop Pablo Virgilio S. David Didi, I am Reverend Father Kennedy A. Neral, your Vicar for Catholic Schools in the Diocese of Kalookan. I warmly welcome you in a meaningful, productive, and engaging KADSA First Virtual General Assembly 2020.
Thank you very much, Father Ken, for reminding us to be missionaries of faith beyond COVID-19. We thought we are going to forgo our annual assembly because of the prohibition brought about by the COVID-19. In this era of new evangelization, however, we continue to look for new methods and expressions to bring the message of Christ to you, even if we are limited. Hence, this assembly takes the place of our annual KADSA General Assembly. And this goes down in KADSA's history as the first ever gathering to be held online. Cheers to all our participants. Pagbati po sa inyong lahat at bahagi kayo ng ating kasaysayan ng KADSA community. At this juncture, we will now have the acknowledgement of participants. Once your school is called later, please make your presence felt by typing in a greeting at the comment section of our live stream. And to lead us in acknowledging our delegates, we have the Basic Education Principal of La Consolacion College, Caloocan City, Dr. Raquel M. Cacatian. She will also present the perspective setting of this year's assembly. A virtual applause to Dr. Cacatian.
So good day, everyone. So our theme for this year's KADSA Virtual General Assembly is KADSA Family. So gifted to give in faith and mission. So in line with the Church celebration of the year of Missio Agentes, or Mission to the Nations, and the 500 years of Christianity in the Philippines, the KADSA Virtual General Assembly hopes to help our school personnel, parents, and students to, number one, so engage actively with fellow servants in KADSA, to look, think, feel, speak, and live like Jesus in the light of many societal health, environmental, and social challenges. Number two, reconfigure their potentials to see, hear, and share concrete actions as authentic witnesses to the call of Christian faith and mission. And number three, transform their strengths and victories as digital natives to become positive influences that will impact the lives of our KADSA stakeholders, our students, our parents, alumni, and parish and community collaborators. So this afternoon, I am honored to acknowledge the presence of our beloved Bishop and Chairman of the Board of Trustees, so Most Reverend Pablo Virgilio David Didi. Let's give him a virtual clap. For our KADSA Superintendent, Reverend Father Kenneth D. A. Neral, and our KADSA Executive Secretary, Mr. Joji B. Juanerio. Another clap for them. And I would like to acknowledge also the following participating member schools of Kalookan Diocese Schools Association and their personnel, students, and parents that start from De La Salle Araneta University, so under the leadership of their president, Dr. Bjorn S. Santos, their Vice Chancellor for Academics and Research. So good day, everyone. So our theme for this faith and mission, reconfigure their potentials to see, hear, and share concrete actions as authentic witnesses to the call of Christian faith and mission. And number three, transform their strengths and victories as digital natives to become positive influences that will impact the lives of our KADSA stakeholders, our students, our parents, alumni, and parish and community collaborators. So this afternoon, I am honored to acknowledge the presence of our beloved Bishop and Chairman of the Board of Trustees, so Most Reverend Pablo Virgilio David Didi. Let's give him a virtual clap. For our KADSA Superintendent, Reverend Father Kenneth D. A. Neral, and our KADSA Executive Secretary, Mr. Joji B. Juanerio. Another clap for them. And I would like to acknowledge also the following participating member schools of Kalookan Diocese Schools Association and their personnel, students, and parents that start from De La Salle Araneta University, so under the leadership of their president, Dr. Bjorn S. Santos, their Vice Chancellor for Academics and Research, Dr. Bernardo Cepeda, and their Basic Education Department Principal, so Dr. Chiki Concepcion Umali. Next is from Immaculate Conception Parochial School, under the leadership of their Director, Reverend Father Ray O. Amante, and their Principal, Mr. Rafael Limbawan. Next is from La Consolacion College, Caloocan. So their president is Sister Maria Lina R. Despoes A. and their Basic Education Principal, Dr. Raquel M. Kakachan. Next is from Notre Dame of Greater Manila. The director is Reverend Father Howard Tatel OMI, and their principal for grade school is Miss Lorna Martinez, and their principal for senior high school is Mrs. Victoria Maliwat. From San Jose Academy, so the director is Reverend Father Jeronimo Maria J. Cruz, and their principal is Mr. Rafael Patrick M. Pekho. Next is from St. Gabriel Academy. The director is Reverend Father Kennedy A. Neral, and their academic coordinator, Miss Emma O. Pisebre. Next is from St. James Academy. So the directress is Sister Nenita M. Handugan, OP, and their principal, Miss Cristina Conche. The last but not the least is from St. Mary's Academy of Caloocan City. The directress and principal is Sister Maria Evelyn Aguilar, RVM, and their assistant principal is Miss Vanessa Alcantara. And lastly, we would like also to acknowledge and thanks our KADSA Finance Team Chair, Sister Maria Siriflor Ducao, OP. A virtual clap, please. So then for our KADSA Student Affairs Sports Chair, Mr. Julius Cunanan. Our KADSA HR Chair, no other than Mr. Joji Uwanerio. So once again, good afternoon and thank you for participating in our two-day KADSA Virtual General Assembly.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kakatian. We also wish to acknowledge Mr. Rogelio O. Balaang Jr., Junior High School Principal of Notre Dame of Greater Manila. Now that everything has been said, let us now prepare for today's learning session. It gives me great honor and pleasure to introduce to you our very important speaker for this afternoon, who will shed us light on the topic, KADSA Educators in Faith and Mission, Gifted to Care. She is a graduate of Bachelor of Elementary Education, major in teaching in the early grades from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. She took up family ministry and counseling in CEFAM Ateneo de Manila University and got her certification as a life coach from the Life Coach Training Institute based from Dallas, Texas. She is a member of Life Coach Philippines. Prior to being certified as a life coach, Christine spent over 20 years as a teacher and as a campus minister. At present, Christine works for the students and teachers of Key School Manila and the owner of You Matter Coaching Services, where she gives talks to different institutions and does private coaching to individuals and groups. So once again, we are so happy and blessed to have with us Miss Christine De Leon Alcala. On to you, Miss Christine.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone, and I am very happy to be part of this celebration. So I didn't foresee that it's going to be a big event. No, looking at how you started the program, parang it made me want to go back to my previous work as a campus minister. So I really am very thankful for giving me this chance to talk about this, no? Talk about something that's very important to me also. So I just miss really being a campus minister, but I'm also happy being a life coach now. But it's good that I'm able to actually combine these two, no, being a life coach and at the same time talking about these things. And thank you for this invitation. So. Talking about faith is something that thrills me. Mine is not perfect. It still needs some more nourishing, and one concrete way to actually do that is to face all of you today, to learn from you too on how to live in this, how to live this faith, and this faith that we have been gifted with. No, I am one who believes that we can do this by just living the life that we have now to the fullest. And part of doing that is to use our lives to influence the world we live in a way that's pleasing to the one who gave it. We are only given an hour for this session, so allow me to begin by highlighting the word influence, no? So just like what I've mentioned a while ago, one concrete way to actually live this faith is to realize that we have that great influence, no, to the people that we are with, to the world we live in now. And speaking of influence, I have searched Google for the names of the famous social influencers in the Philippines. Okay, because when we talk about this word, no, this is the first thing that enters our mind, no? The influencers, and we have so many of that now. No, we have so many of these people now. So when I search Google for the famous influencers in the Philippines, okay, the name of Ann Curtis came out. Pia Wurtzbach, Catriona Gray, and I think Yasi Pressman's name also came out. So we noticed that they're all celebrities and fashion icons, right? So, but we asked, what does it really take to be a social media influencer? So what do they do? Okay, so this time, so I was told that the interactive part of this session will be seen in Facebook, the KADSA Facebook. So at this point, I just want you to, to participate. What is for you an influencer, and why? What do you think these influencers do? So kindly type in your comments in the Facebook page wherein you're watching this, and the people from KADSA will help me read all those comments. So let's make this interactive by typing in your answers. Go. What do you think, or what does a social media influencer do? Okay, sige, maybe someone from KADSA can help me already read some if you're able to see the comments already. You know, this is weird because I can only see myself and my screen in this. I don't see anyone. So let me feel your presence by participating in our interactive discussion by typing in your comment in the Facebook page wherein you're watching this. Okay, I will also try to see what you are writing there. Okay, I hope I'll be able to read. Okay, here I'm able to see the comments. Okay, this one from John Eric Silvestre, giving inspiration and motivation to be persuasive in life. Also giving hope and hype. I like that, hope and hype. Okay, from Chris Annie, influencer for me, they set standards. Yeah, true. From May Borja, an inspiration. Gemma, she said role model. And Christopher said, an influencer may be anyone from a blogger to a celebrity to an online entrepreneur. Yes, correct. You know what? I've read some studies about the effects of influencers. Actually, it's a marketing strategy already for big companies. They do not only depend on the ads in the television and the online platforms, but they depend so much on the influencers these days. So talagang grabe the effect of the influencers, no? Okay, sige. Keep on typing. Later we'll be able to read that, but allow me to proceed to our discussion because we only have an hour for this. Okay, so let's see, no? Okay. Based from my readings, a social media influencer is someone who influences people genuinely. Okay. The behavior of their followers. They build a reputation for their knowledge and expertise on a specific topic. Okay, so that's why siguro when you search the famous influencers in the Philippines, parang lahat sila fashion icons and celebrities kasi parang automatic, no? They have this audience already. People look up to them, and talagang they're always visible, no? But just like what we've said, no, influencers are also people who are used by big companies to actually market their product. And they make regular posts about the topic on their preferred social media channels and generate large followings of enthusiastic, engaged people who pay close attention to their views. Okay, so talagang we're talking about here a big number of followers. Okay, and based from my readings, actually, influencers are being paid based from the number of followers they have and based from the number of clicks they're gonna get for their post. So there, and we can also say that an influencer is someone who can influence others. A social media influencer is someone who wields that influence through social media. Okay, the right influencer can reach your target audience, build trust, and drive engagement. Okay, so that's why big companies really seek the service of these influencers. Okay, again, talking about influence, I know people who had the same influence as our social media influencers during the time given to them. Okay, so they also use their credibility to reach out to many. So let me show you some of these people na I've chose. Carlo Acutis. Okay, Carlo Acutis is parang recently was beatified, one step closer to being a saint. Oh, no, he's already a saint. Sorry, he's already declared as a saint, right? So he had a great love for the Eucharist. So Carlo's interest involved computer programming, film editing, website creation, editing, and laying out small publications to help those in need, especially children and elderly. So he is best known for documenting Eucharistic miracles around the world and cataloging them onto a website that he created before his death from leukemia. So we can see here, someone who's very talented with computer, with the technology, use his talent to actually influence many, and he used that to actually promote his love for the Eucharist. Okay, next we have Saints Louis and Zélie. Okay, we both know that they're the parents of. We all know that they're the parents of Saint Therese, right? So they both wanted to enter the religious life. But of course, it didn't happen. God had another plan for them. They married each other. They raised a family with 9 children, and five of their children entered the religious life. But one striking experience that this couple had was when their 3 children died within 3 years. 2 boys and a girl died, and they had to deal with a rebellious daughter, and that's Leonie. That's another story. Leonie has a separate, colorful life. But yeah, I'm thinking, parents can actually relate to Louis and Zélie because of their experiences as parents, especially on the part that they had to deal with a difficult child, a very problematic child, And next is Lilia Diaz. Here, Lilia Diaz. She was the Bayaning Filipino awardee 2004. She has dedicated more than 35 years as a teacher in Loyola College of Culion and has continued her passion for service, working presently with the indigenous Tagbanawa of Culion, Palawan. So Nanay Lilia, as she is fondly called, is edifying as she is humble. Her relenting determination amidst life's challenges have touched many lives, and hopefully, as teachers, as people who work with the youth, may we be inspired by her generosity, by her courage, And we all hope not to have that kind of disposition like teacher Lilia here. Okay, and the next is Archbishop Teofilo Camomot. Okay, also a candidate for sainthood. He lived a simple and austere life. Before celebrating Mass, he visited all sick parishioners while attending to their needs. And you know what? One striking story about Bishop Kamomot that I really love is about parang he pawned his pectoral cross, and when he was asked where his cross was, he said he pawned it because he needed to use the money to give to the poor people. So these are real people. No, these are real people who really use their influence during their time in the best way they can. No, with the people around them, with the world they were living, with the people they are with before. No, so these people were gifted to give and care for others in their own special ways, particularly with how they live their lives during their time. And I am very sure, pretty much sure, that they had their own joys and pains of being a giver. Okay, but what is most relatable to me actually is the experience of Saint Louis. Do you know that? Do you know that Saint Louis actually struggled with depression during the latter part of his life? Okay, it was actually a result of or a comorbidity of what he was experiencing that time in terms of health. He was suffering with dementia and Alzheimer's during the latter part of his life, and so eventually he was sent to an asylum, no, to be treated because he was not in his right mind that time anymore. Okay, so that's very striking for me, especially as a life coach, no, someone who works with people who's battling with anxiety and depression. Parang I want to focus on this, no, because during this pandemic, we all know that one of the main issues that people have to face were not only about health issues and economic issues, but mental health issues as well. Okay, most of us experience a great amount of anxiety, depression, grief. I can just imagine how difficult it was for the frontliners, no, during the first few months of the lockdown. No, we have the doctors, we have the delivery guys, we have the military, we have the government officials, both local and national, the national government, no, to deliver their work during the peak of great anxiety from all of us. And we are so I've mentioned all these frontliners, no, but I want you to also realize that teachers, school administrators, parents are also considered frontliners. Priests and nuns, no, frontliners sila kasi they had to deliver all their work online just to provide comforting words for people, no, suffering or experiencing anxiety during this time. So we have this tagline for the teachers, no, teachers online, teachers on the line, because and now we can see that it's not only the teachers who are on the line. No, we are all on the line now because we are all dealing with the pandemic. For those who are working in schools, we are struggling with the online learning. It's not easy. No one taught us how to go through this. We just have to we have to learn things, no, as we do this, no. So we are all frontliners actually. Okay. Anyone who gives care in this trying time is considered a frontliner. So we as people, as frontliners, we are experiencing collective grief. And according to David Kassler, no, David Kassler is a famous author of the book about grief. No, he's a death and grieving expert. So he was interviewed by Harvard Business Review. Okay, and he said that we are feeling a number of different griefs. We feel the world has changed, and it has. We know this is temporary, but it doesn't feel that way. And we realize things will be different. The loss of normalcy, the fear of economic toll, the loss of connection, this is hitting us, and we are grieving collectively. We are not used to this kind of collective grief. So, that explains why that even if we are we are given the opportunity to stay home, to be with our families, there is that void that we can't explain. No, parang we have our jobs, and we know we have to be thankful for all these blessings, no, despite the difficulty, despite the issues that we are facing right now. But then again, something inside us still makes us feel sad or question things, right? So according to David Kassler, it's actually grief that we're feeling. No, it's actually grief that we're feeling. I can't help but think, about Christ being the greatest influencer. No, the question in the question amidst all the things that we are experiencing right now is, how can we be of support to each other in this difficult time, knowing that David Kassler was able to label that as collective grief. No, so what would Jesus do? No, what would Jesus do if he were in this time with us? Okay, I'm sure, we all know that God is always with us and all, but I'm just trying to imagine if Christ is physically with us, what would he do? No, I got this, okay, passage from the Bible. He said, "Be holy, for I am holy." So if we ask, what would Jesus do in this time? And we will hear Jesus say, "Be holy, for I am holy." Okay, this one is quite a pressure, right? When Christ says, "Be holy, for I am holy," parang this is quite hard to achieve, thinking that we have to live the life that he lived, no? But in the latest document of Pope Francis, that he released, called Gaudete et Exultate, okay, and that's literally translated as "rejoice and be glad," he contextualized this holiness, okay? And what did he say? He said, holiness in his or her own way. Okay, and then he even said, we should not grow discouraged before the examples of holiness that appear unattainable. The important thing is that each believer discern his or her own path, that they bring out the very best of themselves, the most personal gifts that God has placed in their hearts, rather than hopelessly trying to imitate something not meant for them. So even if I showed you, the Carlo Acutis, Saints Louis and Zeli, Nanay Lilia, or Bishop Kamomot, don't be pressured or don't be in despair, because it's the words of Pope Francis is very comforting na in our own little ways, we can actually achieve that holiness. Okay? But we have to understand what that holiness meant. Okay? So for me, it gives me comfort knowing that we are being invited to show that holiness through ways that are achievable, like just living your life. I mean, living your life pleasing to the eyes of God, of course. Okay. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Okay. So, let me just talk about that holiness again for the last time. No? So, it's not something that is not attainable. It is not something that is impossible. Okay. Now, how do we do that? Sometimes it's difficult. Parang how do we become holy in our own special ways? So I encourage you to actually reflect on these questions, no? Para we can contextualize that holiness based from how we live our lives. No? How are you with other people? Kindly check your relationships now, right? How are we doing with our work? Are you giving your all? Giving your best ability to perform the work or the job that has been given you? How are you with yourselves? So I know parang it's so easy to forget to forget about ourselves, no? Especially for Filipino people who are very used to caring for others. Sometimes we neglect, we ignore ourselves, no? But part of that holiness is actually being able to take care of yourselves, right? How are we living our lives? So these are questions we can reflect on as we are being invited to be influencers too. Okay, and so in this in your monitor, we can have this question: no? How can we be an influencer in the context of our faith and mission in this day and age? Okay, now. Again, we can also ask this question: what kind of disposition, mindset, and attitude should we have to be an effective influencer? Because I know now, deep inside our hearts, we want to be an influencer too. But again, in the context of our faith and mission, we are not only talking about, or we're not limiting ourselves to be social media influencers only. Social media is just a platform, but our lives can be our way of being an influencer to others, right? So, what kind of disposition, mindset, attitude should we have, not to be an effective influencer, to be an effective giver, or to be an effective carer? No? Now, according to Gaudete et Exsultate, okay, the signs of holiness in today's world is just to show joy and sense of humor. Okay, now why am I focusing on this? No, the document Gaudete et Exsultate discussed a lot of things. There's so many ways to actually show that holiness in this present time. But this one, I was gravitated to this, no, joy and sense of humor. Maybe because as a life coach, I've been giving mental health webinars, mental health talks to different institutions, no, and to different schools, no. So that's why maybe may special focus ako dito sa joy and sense of humor. But let's define joy first, no. According to compassion.com, joy is an attitude, or let's see, we as we define the word joy, we also parang see how it differs from the word happiness naman. Okay, sige. According to compassion.com, joy is an attitude of the heart, present inside of us, an untapped reservoir of potential. It's possible to feel joy in difficult times. Joy doesn't need a smile in order to exist although it does feel better with one. Joy can share its space with other emotions, so sadness, shame, or anger. Happiness can't. So happiness is not present in darkness and difficulty. Joy never leaves. Joy undergirds our spirits. It brings to life peace and contentment. Joy requires connection. Okay, now let me go back to that phrase. No, joy can share its space with other emotions, so sadness, shame, or anger. You know what I've noticed with my clients, with the people who are battling with anxiety and depression. Okay, when we say people with anxiety and depression, these are the ones who are diagnosed, but I also work with other people na not formally diagnosed, but experiencing high level of anxiety and depressive mood. Okay, now why am I focusing on this? No, that joy can actually share with other emotions. What I've noticed is people get so paranoid when they feel anxious. That all the more they feel anxious, no? Parang they can't seem to accept that it's actually possible to still have a joyful life even if you feel anxious sometimes or you feel sad sometimes. So life is not life is not black and white na you're always joyful, you're na joy lang, di ba? For the rest of your life, joy lang yung emotions mo. No. I mean, we have been given different kinds of emotions, and these emotions are meant to be felt, right? So we can't dismiss all these emotions, right? So just the thought that you can actually feel that joy while also feeling sad and while also feeling shame or anger, parang it gives you that idea that you are not less of a person if you experience those what we call negative emotions. But okay, let me just clarify that. Emotions are neither negative or positive, okay? They're neutral, okay? But sometimes we label them as bad emotions or negative emotions kasi those are emotions na we don't want to feel actually because they're giving us discomfort, right? But so joy can actually exist with these emotions. And I want you to always remember that. I don't want you to despair just because you feel na you're too anxious or you're too sad and all, right? So, let's go to the next slide. In Gaudete et Exultate, Pope Francis described joy and sense of humor this way. So, hard times may come when the cross casts its shadow, yet nothing can destroy the supernatural joy that adapts and changes, but always endures, even as a flicker of light, born of our personal certainty that when everything is said and done, we are infinitely loved. That joy brings deep security, serene hope, and a spiritual fulfillment that the world cannot understand or appreciate. So I like I like the phrase na you are infinitely loved, diba? And hopefully that brings a deep sense of security, hope, and spiritual fulfillment. But that's the thing, no? In reality, there are moments that we feel we are not loved. Or in reality, sometimes we feel we are not capable of giving that love, right? So I think it's good to know, it's good to reflect on that, no? How am I giving that love to other people? Or how do I want to be loved too? It's very important. It's very important to answer that. No? How do I want to be loved? Because when you actually have that, no, that sense of love for other people, it will be easy to actually give and share that the same joy and love that we want, no, for ourselves. Pope Francis regards having joy and sense of humor as a sign of holiness in today's world. But, okay, let me back that up with a study done last 2014 by Anne Can. Okay, her study was entitled Sense of Humor, Stable Affect, and Psychological Well-Being. So this was published in European Journal of Psychology. Okay, why am I presenting you this? I want you to realize that when Pope Francis talked about joy and sense of humor, it's not just coming from nowhere. It's actually based from science, okay? This recent study on mental health discussed the positive effect of having sense of humor in our overall well-being. Okay, wait, let me just go back to that previous slide. Okay, so again, a good sense of humor. So the study is saying that a good sense of humor has been implicated as a quality that could contribute to psychological well-being. Sense of humor helps reappraise threats, serving as a character strength. Sense of humor facilitates happiness. Stable positive affect has been shown to facilitate more effective problem solving and to build resilience. A sense of humor that involves self-enhancing humor based on maintaining a humorous perspective about one's experiences. Now, we have to qualify that because there is a kind of humor that's maladaptive. Okay, when we talk about sense of humor that affects us positively, this is the humor wherein we can laugh at ourselves and we can take things lightly in life. Not the kind of humor that's humiliating other people or just for the sake of parang saying jokes, parang na-humiliate naman yung ibang tao. No? So that's not the humor we're not referring here. But really, the humor, no? Parang sabi nga nila, di ba? Parang learn to laugh at yourself, learn to take things lightly, no? So that's the kind of humor we're trying to talk about here. Okay? And it was also said, no? In the Bible, my son, treat yourself well. Do not deprive yourself of a happy day. Okay? So both science and religion is actually telling us to have that happy disposition, to have that joyful disposition, to have that positive disposition. And when we say that positive disposition, we're not referring to toxic positivity wherein you'll be asked to dismiss your feelings, you'll be asked to just set aside all those feelings that you have. No, it's actually not healthy. No, as a life coach, I always tell my clients, never dismiss your feelings. I always tell them it's okay to feel all those feelings. For example, anger or anxiety or sadness, no? Because we have reasons to feel those feelings, right? So it's okay. It's valid. Your feelings are valid. It's just that you have to be able to challenge yourselves. Diba? We do not want to get stuck with those feelings, right? You have to be able to challenge yourselves to get out of those feelings that's giving us discomfort, right? Because the more you get stuck, the more your disposition or the more it will manifest in your behavior. And when it manifests in your behavior, I'm sure your relationships will be affected. Not only your relationship with yourself, but your relationship with other people, right? And part of having a joyful life is having healthy relationships, right? Okay, so just a moment of reflection. Okay, I want us to, I want you to ask yourselves now, when was the last time you laughed so hard? When was the last time you felt so much joy in your heart? That authentic joy that even when, despite all the difficulties, you can tell the world, you can tell God, God, I am so thankful for all the things that you have given me, despite all the things that are happening around me. And the last question is, when was the last time you caused someone's joy and happiness? Um, I know that it's sometimes it's difficult, no? Especially during this time of pandemic. People would say, wala namang ikaka-happy with all the things that are happening now. Parang things are miserable, right? But you see, I always believe that we always have a choice. You can always choose to look at the other side, diba? Yes, we can't deny the fact that life has been very difficult this year because of the pandemic. A lot of people lost their jobs. We had to adjust to the what's happening, no, the educational system, or the schools have to change, had to adjust to the present time, as in lahat nag-online, no. It's difficult kasi like what I've said, no, we're not trained to actually do all these things. But I'm sure deep inside your heart, you know something beautiful happened or is happening while we are in this pandemic, right? Now, I want to share with you also this study that I've read, no, the science of self-compassion. Why am I discussing this with you? Because when things become difficult, when things become overwhelming for all of us, I want you to remember this, no? Kristen D. Neff discussed the three components of self-compassion. That is self-kindness, mindfulness, and common humanity. This is self-explanatory. When we say self-kindness, those are the things that you do for yourself, no? It's not selfishness to care for yourself. It's not selfishness to love yourself. It's not selfishness to check if you can still give something. I think that's parang very natural, no? Natural thing to do for yourself, because if we really aim to love and to be there for people, to care for people, to give, then you have to also give care for yourself. And we can do that by being mindful. Now, there are a lot of mindfulness exercise that we can actually do. Being mindful of your feelings, acknowledging your feelings, not dismissing your feelings, or not beating up yourself just because you feel sad or you feel frustrated, or you don't you're struggling with a certain skill. Mindfulness is just acknowledging that, yes, I'm struggling at this point, but it's okay. This is normal. This is something new. I have to do this, right? And we all have to be reminded of this common humanity. When we say common humanity, it's realizing that actually everything, our emotions, the difficulties we're having right now, the pandemic and all, these are all shared experiences. We are all capable of doing amazing things as people, but we also make mistakes, and it's okay. Right? It's okay. Let us be reminded of this, no? When things get so overwhelming and difficult, we be reminded of this common humanity, because it will lead us to being empathic and to understanding what other people are going through. But you know what? It's going to be difficult if you are not also aware of your own struggles, or you're aware but you're not acknowledging it. See, again, it's not selfishness to care for yourself. Okay? Next. Actually, this is the last slide, I think. Okay. Um, so you ask yourself again, how do you want to go about being an influencer, spreading joy? Okay. So we have established that fact that we can be influencers too, not necessarily the social media influencers that we know, the fashion icons or the celebrities and all, but we can use social media as our platform in spreading this joy, right? But how do you want to go about it? It needs a lot of reflecting. It needs a lot of praying. It needs a lot of examining ourselves, no? How do we begin with that? We start with ourselves. We start with how we deal with people, how we deal with things. I am pretty sure that you are already doing things to be that influencer that you are meant to be, right? But at this point, I just want you to reflect on this. What are you willing to stop? What are you willing to start and continue to be the influencer that you are created to be? These are good habits, good practices, or the parang envisioning the kind of life that you really want to live. Right? So this way, we can say that, yeah, to be holy and to be an influencer is attainable, right? It's not impossible. It's very attainable. Just like what Pope Francis said in his document Gaudete et Exultate, just being joyful and just spreading that sense of humor that we all need in this difficult time is a form of holiness already. Okay, so that ends my sharing for today. I hope we will all go back to our we're just in our links pala. I hope that we will carry with us all those questions that we can use as we reflect, as we reflect on how we want to be influencers in this day and age. Okay, and there. So let me stop share now, or yeah, we're done. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Christine, for sharing to us ways on how we could recognize and manage the overwhelming emotions we experience amid this pandemic. We also wish to thank in a very special way our friends from Phoenix and Sibs Publishing House Incorporated for bringing Miss Christine in this year's assembly. At this point, we wish to entertain some of the questions posted by our participants. Probably we could accommodate 2 to 3 questions. But as we wait for some questions, allow me, Miss Christine, to read to you or to share to you some of the takeaways, some comments posted by our participants or by our viewers this afternoon. According to Brian Fonte from the LSAU, very inspiring, Doc. There are many ways to be an influencer, just like my teaching ministry. I could nurture this call to touch hearts, teach minds, and transform lives of our students entrusted to my care. So that is from Sir Brian Fonte. Also from Mrs. Manalo from the LSAU, joy can only be found in Jesus. Tama. From Sir Roylan Santiago of San Jose Academy, holiness is a grace that only comes from the Lord, and we always need to ask for it in our daily living. Also from Miss Gemma Gutierrez, to be holy is not to be exactly like God, to be a living witness of Christ. And from Miss Jessica Creo, I think I also believe with what she said when she said that educators are also frontliners. And then I wanted to share this to you, Miss Christine. A very witty comment from Sir Edmund Vergara. Sabi niya, we are jolly beings with jolly bees, jolly plants, and jolly flowers. Pasintabi doon sa kapitbahay nating McDonald's sa kabila. Ayan. So, Miss Christine, I'm very interested to know, you were able to share many influencers na pwede namin tulanan na educators. While listening kanina sa Holy Bishop, sinabi niya na as educators, we are also constant learners. We should continue our journey towards learning. And we're not just educators, we're also co-learners like the students we attend to. I'm just curious to ask Ms. Christine, who is your personal influencer?
Of course, given na yon, di ba, si God. But when we talk about people who are with me physically, really, my Jesuit friends, my Jesuit friends, my family, of course, my family, and my husband and my daughter. No, they're the major influencers in my life. And you know what? Just to share, this is very, this is so personal, but I want to share it with everyone. When Miss Princess of Phoenix Publishing gave me this topic, I got so thrilled. So I was really saying, you know what, God, you know my needs, because I'm really enjoying my job as a life coach, but I miss my job also as a campus minister. I was a campus minister in Xavier School before, but I had to spread my wings and fly. So I had to leave that job and do this job now. But I was telling my Jesuit friend, I was sharing with him, Father, I will talk about faith and mission. So sobrang akong na-thrill talaga. Parang this is my dream to actually incorporate life coaching and spirituality. Because you see, I believe that when you're okay with your spirituality, your well-being will be in good condition too. So para sa akin, it's a perfect combination. That's why sabi ko kay Princess, sobrang akong kinikilig dun sa topic nila. And I was so excited, I actually talked to Mr. Georgie, Sir Georgie. I was parang discussing with him, parang how do you want this talk to be? Because I have my ideas already, but of course I have to listen to the context of the audience and all. But sabi ko na lang, this is how I imagine it to be. Are you okay with this? And then Sir Georgie said, just go, Misty, just do it. So I came up with this talk. So thank you for that, Ralph. Thank you for that question.
With the leading of the Holy Spirit, we found that we learned many things. Lalo na sa hinaharap po natin ngayon. We are facing many things, juggling many responsibilities. And I guess the Holy Spirit guided you through the sharings you had this afternoon.
Definitely.
Ms. Christine, can we accommodate another question?
Go.
Okay, from Mr. Julius Conanan of the LSAU. What was your greatest discovery during this pandemic?
You know what? Okay. Of course, aside from the great love that God has for us, despite all the difficulties, I've realized what really matters in life, right? And just focusing on these values, the things that really matter in life, makes it a little easier to deal with the pandemic. Kasi di ba, nakaka-anxious talaga yung uncertainty. Nakaka-anxious lahat ng nangyayari, no? Because we realize now we do not have control over a lot of things. But really just giving it all up to God and parang allowing Him to work, through all these things makes you feel na, okay, what really matters is that you are safe with your family. You have this job that continues to parang reach out to a lot of people, and of course the safety of my family is very important, and giving value to life itself. And when we say giving value to life itself, uh, in small concrete ways, no? For example, we always say na, yeah, you love your life, blah, 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 but you don't live a healthy life. Diba? Parang yung diet, yung exercise, all these things are small things that you can do concretely to actually show that we are valuing our lives, right? Kasi hindi tayo si Superman, even Superman, di ba? May kryptonite siya and all. But we can do something to care for ourselves, di ba? To care for that life that God has given us, right? And hopefully, the kind of the things that we do in this life can inspire other people too. As in to live a healthy life, to diba? To live a happy life, to live a positive life, right?
I was reminded of Miss Eva Galde. I'm
From
not sure
Ateneo.
if you remember her or if you know her. But during my course with her, I was reminded that in all the things that we do, we really need just to find Jesus. Kasi I think that if we have that particular mindset, they say, you will find blessing in every kissing. Diba? So, I guess
Finding God in all things, right, Ralph? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Parang even the littlest things will make sense, di ba? And we want that, di ba? We want that. We want to make sense with all the experiences that we have. Kasi nga parang feeling natin, I want to understand what's going on. But really, just going through your daily life, not really trying hard to understand everything, but just allowing things to flow and allowing God to do His work. Yun na yun, di ba? Things will make sense eventually.
Another question, Miss Christine from Sir Welton of Immaculate Conception Parochial School. In this pandemic we are facing, we know the fact na hindi po tayo makapaglabas ng full potential in inspiring our students given that we cannot gather them face to face. Now, the question is, how can we supplement this space?
You know what? Based from my sessions, because I also handle the teachers, where I work now. I'm also their life coach. So one of the greatest fear of the teachers or the insecurities of teachers now is, magiging close ba ako sa mga students ko ngayon? Will I be able to go through, will I be able to get through them? Will I be able to know their context? Kasi a lot of teachers really now are very tired, physically, emotionally, lahat yata ng aspect, no? So I can just imagine how difficult it is for the teachers to still go on, diba? Yeah, the fact that you're still doing your job despite the tiredness that you feel in all aspects is actually showing a great love already, right? That's why I always tell you, don't forget to care for yourself, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Nourish all those aspects. No, if you're asking me, so how do we do that? Actually, I will tell you. You begin with yourself. Care for yourself. Don't forget to take breaks. These are concrete ways, no? These are concrete ways that you can do. Because, you know what? If you are going to compare yourself to a cup, you cannot pour anything anymore if your cup is empty. So always, we have that mindset na as a teacher, I will give my best, I will be there for my student and all. But all these will be empty words if you don't care for yourself. Again, it's not selfishness to do that. Okay? Some teachers feel guilty when they take a break. Please, part of being productive is including break times. Okay, and you honor that. You have to honor that. You have to honor your body when your body is already aching, right? Because you cannot really be that ideal teacher to your students if you don't tend to yourself first.
Correct. Simply put, we cannot give something we do not have. Tama po?
Correct. That's true. That's true.
Pa din po from Ms. Menchie Centeno, because of the huge changes in the field of education, lubhang naging mahirap po sa amin ang new normal. Naging cause po ito ng anxiety and sometimes loneliness. As a teacher, how are we going to convert this pandemic into something positive?
Great pressure, no? It's a great pressure actually na parang how do we become positive? We're also feeling this way. You know what? This is the common, this is the common thing I hear from the teachers, no? Parang we always say parang we consider the mental health of the students, but how about our mental health? That's why that's why I'm asking you, no? Please do self-care, okay? In all aspects, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, okay? But first, you have to be able to acknowledge your basic feelings. Because sometimes, I've met a teacher, she'd always say na, hindi ako pwedeng umiyak ngayon, hindi ako pwedeng mag-breakdown kasi may mga modules pa. May mga modules pa akong gagawin and all. But you see, I think that's the worst thing you can do, no? Na parang you dismiss your feelings. Okay? Your feelings are telling you something. Your body pains are telling you something. You have to be able to listen. Can you imagine a teacher who's dismissing all these basic feelings? Paano siya pag yung student na yung nagsasabi ng emotions nila? Sasabihin mo rin, sang tabi mo muna yan. Do your requirement first kasi that's needed. But that's very basic. Whatever you do for yourself, yun lang din yung maibibigay mo sa ibang tao. And you are in a very crucial position now. Diba? You are not only teaching content, but you are teaching them to live life in this difficult time. Right? In this difficult time. You have to be good to yourself, teachers. And administrators, be good to them too.
Actually, thank you, Ms. Christine, for that reminder. Parang sinasabi ni Ms. Christine sa atin that it's really okay not to be okay. Kasi we cannot be at best if at the first place we are empty. Right? So we really need to address whatever needs we have, and then we could serve and give our best to others, especially to our students.
Yeah, you know what? I've read this article from a teacher from US. No, parang she was saying that at this point, it's okay to be vulnerable in front of your students. Meaning, it's okay to tell your students that you're struggling too. Right? I mean, that's a basic thing you can do at this point to teach them empathy. Right? We parang it's dati kasi, di ba, yung mindset na as a teacher, you're in control of the classroom. I'm sorry, but that's not a reality anymore now, right? So we have to always put that in mind. It's okay to tell your students, I'm sorry, I'm also struggling. This is how I also feel. You know what? By doing that, you're also encouraging them to be honest with their feelings. Diba? And that's a life skill. That's a life skill. Again, do not only focus on your content. Focus on teaching them how to live life.
Amen. And with that, our dear viewers, we hope that you have learned so many things to empower us to craft simple and doable ways to help ourselves, our students, our colleagues, and loved ones in order to thrive and flourish in this time of pandemic. Again, our sincerest gratitude to you, Ms. Christine, for the immense inspiration you have given us from the topic you have presented. Be assured of our loving prayers for you and your family and from the entire KADSA community. Maraming salamat po, Ms. Christine. Let's give her a virtual round of applause. Bye, Ms. Christine, and thank
Bye-bye. Thank you.
This year's virtual assembly also serves as our Christmas fellowship as a KADSA community. Our organizers have prepared game, raffle, and have invited performers who will serenade you this afternoon. Allow us to entertain you with song numbers from the MYA band. Just give us 30 seconds to give our band time to set up.
To bring the message to everyone in a voice loud and clear. Let us tell the world of His love, the greatest love the world has known. Search the world for those who have walked astray and lead them home. Fill the world's darkest corners with His light from up above. Walk every step, every mile, every road, and tell the world His love. God so loved the world, He gave us His only Son, Jesus Christ our Savior, His most precious one.
He has sent us His message of love and sends those who hear to bring the message to everyone in a voice loud and clear. Let us tell the world of His love, the greatest love the world has known.
Search the world for those who have walked astray and lead them home. Fill the world's darkest corners with His light from up above. Walk every step, every mile, every road, and tell the world of His Search the world for those who have walked astray and lead them home. Fill the world's darkest corners with His light from up above. Walk every step, every mile, every road, and tell the world of His love. The greatest love the world has known.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, welcome to KADSA Virtual Online Assembly. So, dinami-dami ng pinagdaanan natin sa ating buhay ngayon. Marami pa rin reason para mag-smile. So, super blessed natin na ngayon nandito tayo at sama-sama tayong lahat. Lift your hand, baby, don't be scared of the things that could go wrong along the way. You get by with a smile. You can quit everything, but you can try. Baby, you don't have to worry, 'cause there ain't no need to hurry. No one ever said there's an easy way. But they're closing all their doors, and they don't want you anymore. This sounds funny, but I say it anyway. Boy, you're staying through the bad times, even if I have to fetch you every day. You'll get by with a smile. You can never be too happy in this life, 'cause in a world where everybody it's a happy ending story, it's a wonder love can make the world go round. But don't let it bring you down and turn your faith into a frown. You'll get along with a little prayer and a song. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Let me hear you sing it. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. In a world where everybody it's a happy ending story, it's a wonder love can make the world go round. But don't let it bring you down and turn your face into a frown. You'll get along with a little prayer and a song. Baby, don't be scared of the things that could go wrong along the way. You get by with a smile. Now it's time to kiss away, to say goodbye. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Let me hear you sing it. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Your head, baby, don't be scared of the things that could go wrong along the way. With a smile. Thank you so much. So that was our first song, With a Smile by Eraserheads. Diba, ang dami-daming rason para ngumiti despite ng mga nangyaring sakuna at mga problema sa buhay natin.
Tama yan, ano. So, ang dami natin pinagdaanan. January, February, ang daming mga
Yes.
positive. I can't remember kung ilan yung mga taong sa online nakita ko nag-block ng nagkulay black ng profile picture. Marami
Yes,
nawala.
actually, oo.
Pero marami rin dumating na bago.
Of course. Lahat naman ng yan, ipapalitan ng blessing ni Lord. Kasi, syempre, everything happens for a reason, di ba, Kuya JL? So, syempre, bilang mga tao, bilang mga lagad ng Diyos, kailangan din naman natin, syempre, na tulungan din yung bawat isa kung paano ba tayo umahon ngayon.
Correct.
Sige, for, ito, ikaw ba, bilang kami sa youth ministry namin, kahit na, alam mo yon, despite of the pandemic, nagagawa pa rin mag-serve kasi merong dahilan.
Yeah.
Merong dahilan kung bakit kami nagsuserve. Kasi si Lord lang naman yung reason doon eh.
Yeah. Yung lagi ko naalala yung pagka when it comes to mission, lagi namin tinatanong yung salitang, bakit mo ginagawa yung ginagawa mo?
Siyempre.
And para kanino mo siya inaalay? No? Parang sa kape. No? Parang sa kape. Bakit ka gumigising? O para kanino ka bumabangon?
Yan. Yan. So, tamang-tama tong next song natin. This song is sobrang inspirational siya kasi parang sinasabi dito, sino, ang dahilan kung bakit ka nagpapatuloy sa iyong mga ginagawa. Tama? Yes. So the next song is from Callum Scott. The song is called You Were the Reason. So hope you like it, guys. Thank you so much. There goes my heart beating, 'cause you were the reason. Losing my sleep now. Please come back now. There goes my mind racing, and you were the reason that I am still breathing. I'm hopeless now. I climb every mountain, swim every ocean, just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Oh, 'cause I need you to see that you are the reason. There goes my hands shaking, and you were the reason. My heart keeps bleeding. I need you now. And if I could turn back the clock, I'd make sure the light defeated the dark. I spend every hour of every day keeping you safe. I climb every mountain, swim every ocean, just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Oh, 'cause I need you to see that you are the reason. You are the reason. I need you to hold me tonight. I climb every mountain and swim every ocean, just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Oh, 'cause I need you to see that you are the reason. So that was You Are the Reason by Callum Scott. Yan. Sobrang inspirational talaga nung song na
Yeah,
yun.
ang ganda ng kanta.
Ang lakas ng
Kung
impact.
papakinggan mo parang talagang radyo lang,
Yes.
inspiration lang. Pero gusto kong tanungin sa mga nakatutok online, siguro pinakamagandang tanong, ano yung rason mo kung bakit mo ginagawa yung ginagawa mo ngayon? Teacher ka? Ano yung reason mo kung bakit ka nagtuturo? Nag-aaral ka? Bakit ka nag-aaral? No?
Yes.
Nagtatrabaho ka, no? Bakit ka nagtatrabaho? Bakit mo ginagawa yung ginagawa mo? Kasi parang kadalasan ng mga taong nakikilala natin o mga taong bumabagsak, lalo ngayong pandemic, ay dahil nawalan na sila ng reason.
Yes, totoo yan. Kasi sobrang importante nung dahilan kung bakit ka nagpapatuloy. Kasi yun yung nilulook forward mo eh.
Tama yun.
Kada gising mo, syempre yun yung nagbibigay sa'yo ng lakas para ipagpatuloy yung ginagawa.
Para kanino ka bumabangon?
Ako, para kanina. Syempre, para kay Lord, bilang isang active youth servant ng ating parokya, syempre, para kay Lord, kaya ako bumabangon. Kaya ako tuloy-tuloy na nagsiserve. Ayan, sige, para yung mga gustong sumagot, feel free to comment your answers kung para kanino ba. Para nababasa rin ng mga netizens natin.
Tama yan.
So yun, sige. For our next song, sobrang sikat nito at nagamit ito for mga, online collabs, ganyan. Kasi sobrang inspirational din tong song na to. So this one is from Michael Jackson. Sa mga nasa bahay, pwede kayong mag-sing along sa atin, sa amin, sa bahay. Okay, maiyak kayo. Lagyan nyo nandyan yan. There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place could be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. If you want to know why, there's love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares of joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel fear of dread. We stop existing and start living. And it fills that obeys. Love's enough for us growing to make a better world, make a better place. Come on. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. And the dream we were conceiving will reveal a joyful face. And the world we once believed in will shine again in grace. Then why do we keep trembling like when this earth crucified its soul? Though it's plain to see this world is heavenly, because glow so high that our spirits never die. In my heart I feel you are all my brothers. Create a world with no fear. Together we'll cry happy tears. See the nation turn their swords into plowshares. There are ways to get there. Love's enough for us growing. Make a little space to make a better place. Everybody, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. 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 Thank you so much.
Once again, let's give a warm round of applause to MYA Band. We'll hear more from them later. Earlier in our program, we asked our viewers to share our FB live stream. And at this moment, we shall be flashing on our screen the raffle winners of 500 pesos and 1,000 pesos cash. Okay? The winners were drawn last December 9 in the presence of our Student Affairs team and the Holy Spirit. Ayan. Ayan. So wala pong dayaan na nangyari sa raffle po na ito. And so, we named the winners. Starting from De La Salle Araneta University, the 500 peso winners are Amelia Duhig, Rowena Betic, Isabel Jeremia, Michelle Rivera, and Maricel Kimpo. Please make sure that you were able to share our FB live stream because our committee is checking if you were able to do so. Our 1,000 peso cash winners from, 500 peso pa rin. Okay, ito na. 1,000. From De La Salle Araneta University, we have, is it Rifel or Rifel? Yun, Pato, Roxanne Alejandro, Maria Heralyn Segura, Elvira Manalili, Eileen Pusta. Congratulations, De La Salle Araneta. Next, from Immaculate Conception Parochial School, our 500 peso winners are Gerardo Cabigao, Charlene Villaluna, Cheryl Carino, Charlene Boquiren, and Miss Christina Cascayan. Congratulations, that's 500 pesos. Next, our 1,000 peso winners are Josephine Lianes, Dexter Manzanillo, Jessa Hubilia, Maria Jesusa Almares, and Junoel Cubilio. Congratulations po. Now, our winners from the next school is La Consolacion College, Caloocan. 500 pesos for Rona Salvador, Heidi Carmen Kalalay, Katrina Alexis Cores, Marilu Bunyi, congratulations, and Miss Gloria Castro. And our 1,000 peso winners from La Consolacion College, we have Mr. Jeffrey Olaguera, Miss Gina Palma, Jessica Bagid, John Renz de la Cruz, and Miss Grace Pedregosa. Next school, our 4th KADSA member school is Notre Dame of Greater Manila. Our 3 winners of 500 pesos are Zenaida Asis and Gracel Padian and Mr. Edgar Garcia. 1,000 peso winners. Walang 1,000 from from Notre Dame. Let's now proceed to St. Gabriel Academy. 500 peso winners are Chelsea Ann Pura, Erica Torrente, Father Kennedy Neral, congratulations Father, Giancarlo Jimenez, and Mr. Patrick James Ventura. 1,000 pesos for Miss Vilma Corpus, Mr. Bernard Mapadas, Mr. Jomar Villanueva, Mr. Melchor Sumakute, and Miss Lorna Soriano. I think we're down to second to the last school. From St. James Academy, 500 pesos for Mr. Ralph Lopez, Miss Bernadette Pering. Alam mo si Miss Pering, ang dalas nitong manalo sa mga raffle, ha? Congrats, Miss Pering. Miss Geraldine Tionco, Miss Rosaline Aguas, Mr. Nomer Anthony Madridejo. And our 1,000 peso winners from St. James, Mrs. Imelda Sia, Mr. John Roswell Atienza, Miss Rebecca Aranzazo, Mr. Jeffrey Oferio, and Miss Lucila Flestado. And last but not, second to the last pa pala, St. Mary's Academy, Caloocan, 500 pesos for, Noemi Atienza, John Eric Silvestre, Sean Allen Abraham, Leticia Dayag, and Miss Ellen Mar Salarda. 1,000 pesos for Miss Josefina Babao, Miss Ara Veronica De Vera, Miss Concepcion Sosimo, Miss Rose Ann Tamirez, and Miss Maria Cecilia Teves. Last school, 500 peso winners are Miss Tracy Cruz, Mr. Eliasar Luciano, Miss Clacy Ann Pura, Miss Maria Lourdes Brioso, and Mr. Jera Salenga. And our 1,000 peso winners, Mr. Kelvin Salmasan, Mr. Michael Jones Tonko, Miss Maria Clarissa Perez, Miss Roselle Dizon, and Miss Teresita Nepomuceno. Once again, congratulations to all our raffle winners. Please make sure that you were able to share our Facebook live stream to your Facebook pages. And at this point, we shall be having our game. Okay? In this juncture, another part of our assembly is the game. And this game is called KADSA Box. Okay? KADSA Box. Ayan, we're back. Okay, now, how is this game played? The game revolves around all of our, this game is open to all our participants, or open to all our KADSA member school employees. Okay? To all our KADSA member school employees. Can I just stand? Siguro samahan ko si Sir. Hindi ko alam kung abot tayo. Hindi, upo tayo. Hindi tayo kita. Okay. Now, ayan, siguro. Tapos, ayan. So, Sir, from St. Gabriel Academy, kasama po natin from the Student Affairs team. Would you like to say hi po muna sa inyo pong sa ating pong mga kasama?
Hello po, good afternoon po sa ating lahat. Sana manalo kayo.
Good luck po sa atin. Now, allow us to explain to you the mechanics of the game. This game is called KADSA Box. The KADSA box contains a specific item. Now, the goal is simply just to guess the item inside the box.
So we shall be giving clues to help you in guessing the item. So maximum of 3 clues will be given to the participants in order for them to guess the item.
The first one to guess the item correctly by typing their answers in the comment section will be declared the winner. So we have with us the KADSA Student Affairs Council to check who will get the first, or who will give us the first correct answer. I guess they're ready, Sir Fred?
Opo, galaw-galaw po tayo. So, each winner shall receive 500 pesos.
500? Okay, malaki din yan. Okay.
Naku!
Oo, baka naman meron tayong background music para naman happy-happy. Oh. Kasi kanina from formal, tapos nag-transition tayo to games. Oh. Sige. Now!
Baka mapakanta ka ng di oras na, Sir.
Ay, no, Sir. Oh.
Dalag.
Yung kanina, yung song natin para kay Sir Joji. Sige nga, parinig naman natin, Sir. Hulaan niyo po kung ano yung song namin para kay Sir Joji.
Baka biglang pumasok dito sa Sir Joji.
Sige po. Siguro, Sir, we could give our item number 1, the first clue.
Item number 1, first clue. Mahalaga ito at pwedeng papalitan.
Mahalaga, pwedeng papalitan. Asawa daw. Uy, bad yun? No,
Mahalaga
no, no.
ito, pwedeng papalitan.
Mahalaga, pwedeng papalitan. So that's our first clue.
First clue.
So we'll be giving 3 clues until merong makahula sa atin pong mga viewers. So our committee is now checking on. Baka merong ang galing manghula. Kasi kung ako yung kung titingnan ko, dahil alam ko na yung tamang sagot, ang layo. Ang layo ng clue. Sige, wala pa po, no? Wala, jowa. Opo, jowa. Pwede pa kasi, hindi pa kasal. Pwede pa.
Pwede.
Sige po, let's now give Sir Fred our second clue.
Be specific po tayo,
Sige.
Ayan. So, abalang-abala yung ating mga judges.
May pera. So we have to give specific answer.
Specific answer po. Okay.
Kasi nga naman mahalaga. Tama, mahalaga ang pera. Pwedeng papalitan ng pera. Tama. Siguro,
Next clue.
we could enlighten them with the second clue. Ang second clue is, depende ang palit sa laki ng halaga. Medyo tama na yung direction nila siguro.
Ayan.
No? Cheque? No, sorry.
Sorry.
Cellphone? Pwede bang papalitan yung cellphone?
Parang nito, siguro yung exchange. Ang tawag doon sa exchange?
Currency? Okay, currency.
Currency.
Wala pa pong nakakahula.
Grocery.
Face shield. Pwede nang palitan ng face shield.
Okay.
Siguro, sir, we could give them the final clue. Ayan, dito na magkakatalo.
Eto na. Jordan.
Michael Jordan?
Jordan. Bansang Jordan.
The country. Okay.
Jordan.
Ayan, nakikita po natin sa screen yung mga naglalagay po, o yung mga inyo pong mga answers.
Oo.
Ayan,
Country,
opo.
Jordan.
Nakikita po namin dito sa aking left side.
Oo.
Relo?
Meron na sumagot ng dollar. Pero di ba sabi mo?
Wala.
Wala pa.
Dollar is the
Yeah.
wrong answer. Yes, currencies. Okay. So, nandun na. Hulaan na lang nila.
Oo.
Currency. Be specific.
Jordan. Country. Jordan.
Well, simply put, ano ba ang currency sa Jordan? Sige.
Jordan.
Meron na? We have a winner?
Meron na, the winner?
Alright.
Okay.
Congratulations to Carlo Armando Malunes. I think he's from San Jose Academy.
The answer is dinar.
Dinar. Ayan. Kanino ba tong dinar, sir?
Kay Ma'am Chinky.
Magkano ngayon to? Magkano po? Ma'am Chinky. Opo, galing sa husband ni Miss.
Parang kadarating lang ata ng husband ni Ma'am.
Opo.
Yan, dinar. Yan.
Magkano ngayon, Miss Chinky, ang palitan? Duno. Maraming peso kasi si Miss. Kaya hindi niya kailangan pamalit. Sige po.
Yes.
Let's now proceed to
The second
KADSA
item.
box, item number 2.
Number 2.
Ayan. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, clue number 1. Pwede kay baby, pwede kay mommy, pwede kay daddy, pam family.
Wow. Parang Jollibee kanina.
Yan, first clue yun.
Pwede kay baby, pwede kay mommy, pwede kay daddy, pam family. Our second clue, bigay na natin right away, sir.
Pampaganda't pampapresko.
Pampaganda't pampapresko. Now, okay, marami pong sumasagot at nanguhula sa atin pong chat box.
Para maingay na
Meron nakita ko, alcohol. Alcohol ba yun? Okay.
Pampaganda't pampapresko.
Pag binigay mo tong clue number 3, Sir Fred, alam na natin to kagad.
Sigurado yan. Pasok na yan.
Meron na! Clue number 2.
Wala
Sige
pang
nga,
clue
validate
number 3.
natin.
Validate. Sino siya? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations!
Okay.
The correct answer is pulbo or baby powder. Congratulations. Ayan. Congratulations.
Ara.
Our winner is Miss Ara De Vera.
Okay, congrats.
Miss Ara De Vera, congratulations. You won 500 pesos. Kasama yung pulbos? Hindi.
Yes. Ayan.
Go ahead, sir. Let's...
Item number 3. Yan. Mahalaga sa panahon ngayon. Daming mahalaga ngayon, di ba? Daming mahalaga.
Kung i-consider natin yung to kanina, joy, happiness, ayan, yung mga mahalaga sa panahon ngayon.
Ang dami kong mahalagang aral kaninang napulot.
Amen to that.
Sarap pakinggan yung mga ano. No?
Second clue kaagad tayo. The second clue, so kung una, mahalaga sa panahon ngayon, the second clue is huli ka pag wala ka nito sa daan. Meron na tayong panalo. Congratulations, Nurse Roylan Santiago from San Jose Academy. Congratulations. Wala pong kinalaman ang San Jose sa mga Ang third clue sana natin, Sir Fred, is maraming design ito. So the correct answer is face mask. Ayan, tama. Huli ka pag wala ka niyan.
Yay.
And our item number 4, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last.
This is the last. Saya nito. Item number 4, clue number 1. Plastic.
Ano ba yan?
Yan, clue number 1.
Plastic.
Tapos, clue number 2, nakagagaling ng may sakit kapag bitbit sa pamimili.
Nakagagaling ng may sakit kapag bitbit sa pamimili. And first is plastic.
Then number 3, nag-earn ng points.
Ayan, alam na yan. Nag-earn ng points. Ang clue number 3 natin.
Oh.
Face shield. Nag-earn ng points. Alright, after this fourth, we will be having our final raffle draw.
Ito ay 3 pocket wifi.
Wow, 3. Live raffle ang gagawin po natin in order to determine who gets the 3 pocket wifi. Ayan.
Meron. Yan, meron.
Dapat,
Okay. Meron na, sir.
let's see. Let's validate. Congratulations! Meron na pong nanalo. Anong sagot niya? Mercury Drug Card. Okay. Specifically sana, Suki Card. But tinanggap na po na ating committee and we wish to congratulate again from San Jose Academy.
Parang may hocus-pocus dito.
Ay, wala po. Alam po na...
Parang na-chat na.
Ay, wala po. Wala pong ganyan. Congratulations to Miss Frances Valencia of San Jose Academy.
Yes, congratulations
Ayan.
po sa lahat.
So, sir, kailan po ba kailan nila maki-claim yung kanilang prize? Okay, so kindly communicate with your KADSA student, with your student affairs officers or heads in order to claim your prizes. Now, before we call on once again our MYA band, we will be witnessing our final live raffle draw. And ito yung sinasabi kanina sa atin ni Sir Julius na 3 winners will win pocket Wi-Fi. Ayan.
3 pocket Wi-Fi. Courtesy of...
Okay. We wish to congratulate Rex Bookstore. Sige. Let's flash on our screen our roulette in order to identify our first winner. Roulette. Spell. Sige po.
Roulette.
Ayan. So parang compass, sir, no? Kala mo globo. Ang dami kasing random picker wheel. Let's see who gets the first pocket Wi-Fi.
Okay, umiikot na.
Umiikot na ba siya? Okay.
Umiikot na siya.
Ganito kabilis yung Wi-Fi dito sa pocket Wi-Fi na ito. De, joke lang po.
Yes.
Chika daw, sir.
Chika daw.
For tomorrow, Sir Fred, ano bang abangan nila?
Bukas, ang abangan po natin bukas ay, ayan na.
Wow! Congratulations! Our first winner of Pocket Wi-Fi is Miss Tracy S. Cruz. Congratulations!
Congrats.
Alam mo, Sir Julius, kung taga saan siya? San Jose Academy! Congratulations!
Sabi ko na, sir, eh. May usapan kayo, ano?
Wala po.
May-
Our next winner na po tayo.
Parang may usapan ata kayo ng
Wala, Sir
technical
Fred, alam
team.
ng Holy Spirit yan.
Yan. So habang nag-aabang, bukas po, parents at students po naman ang ano sa atin.
So we have special sessions also for
8
them.
o'clock for parents, then 10:30 for students.
Ayan. So abangan po ninyo, we will be using the same link and same Facebook page.
But not same faces.
Yes. Ba naman? Kasi sabi ni Miss Christine, we need to rest.
Apo, we need to rest. Yun ang natutunan ko ngayon. We need
Our
to rest.
winner! Let's see our winner.
We have John
Roswell M.
Ano?
John Smith.
Ano daw?
John Rosmel M. Kung ikaw ito, please mag-comment po kayo sa ating pong live chat box so that we could identify kung kayo po ba ay existing or kasama po natin ngayon.
Ayan. Na lang, comment na lang.
And also from which school. And our last winner na po.
Ayan. Okay. Chika ulit. Naglalag tayo. Ikaw na... yan. Sige. Abangan nyo mamayang ilo-launch natin yung sir. Di ba kakanta-kanta ka doon?
Hindi, napilit lang ako doon. Ay,
Tinanggal.
salamat. Buti na lang. Nawala yung dignidad ko
Pinagkampihan
doon.
tayo ng dalawa.
Abangan po natin yung
abangan po
ating
natin.
final, culminating ang ating video.
Yung
of,
huwag kang mga...
Yes, of this year's
Okay,
assembly.
eto na siya. Oo. Hindi na.
Ayan! Sir Julius, ito talaga. Our last winner is Miss Noel Paula B. Acosta. Alam mo, sir,
Alam mo kasi
yes, alam mo kung from San Jose Academy. Congratulations! Our last winner of our pocket Wi-Fi. Ayan.
Parang taga San Jose lahat ang nanalo ng
Alam mo, pasalamat kami kay Lord. Si Lord lang ang amin pong...
Okay, sir?
And before we close our assembly for this year, allow us to invite once again on stage our beloved, talented MYA Band.
Ayan. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Ay, tapos na. Ayan, hindi pa tayo tapos meron pa tayong finale. So bago tayo pumunta dun sa finale, haharanahin ulit namin kayo. Once again, we are the MYA Band. Congratulations doon sa mga nanalo. Congratulations, guys. Ayan. Certain ng mga nanalo. So, syempre, I think we have last 2 songs for this event. Diba? Tama ba? Kuya JL.
Sound check.
Yan. Sige.
Pag-live, ano?
Hirap talaga pagka-live. For all those times you stood by me, for all the truth that you made me see, for all the joy you brought to my life, for all the wrong that you made right, for every dream you made come true, for all the love I found in you, I'll be forever thankful, baby. You're the one who held me up, never let me fall. You're the one who saw me through it all. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best that was in me. Lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith 'cause you believe. I'm everything I am because you love me. You gave me wings and made me fly. You touched my hand, I could touch the sky. I lost my faith, you gave it back to me. You said the sun was out of reach. You stood by me and I stood tall. I had your love, I had it all. I'm grateful for each day. And baby, maybe I don't know that much, but I know this much is true. I was blessed because I was loved by you. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best that was in me. Lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith 'cause you believe. I'm everything I am because you love me. You were always there for me. The tender wind that carried me. Light in the dark, shining your love into my life. You've been my inspiration. Through the lies, you are the truth. My world is a better place because of you.
From my strength and I was weak.
You must
My voice when I couldn't speak. From my eyes when I couldn't see.
You saw the best.
There was in me. You set me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith to see me.
I'm everything I am because you love me. Oh, 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 oh. You saw the best that was in me. When I couldn't reach, you gave me faith 'cause you believe. I'm everything I am because you love me. I'm everything I am because you love me. Lawa kayo mga kamay dyan, palakpakan dyan. Thank you so much, thank you so much. And for our last song, bago tayo dumako doon sa ating finale, this song is sobrang nagsisimbolize siya ng unity ng ng paghahawak-hawak kamay ng bawat isa, di ba? Sige, kantahin na natin yan. Sa mga nasa bahay, pwede kayo makising along with us. Diyan sa bahay, hawakan niyo yung mga, kasama yun naman sa bahay, yung mga nag-hawak kayo ng kamay, para mas ma-feel niyo yung song na to. So this is Hawak Kamay by Yan Constantino. Hope you like it. Minsan madarama mo, kaibigan, ng problema. Minsan mahihirapan ka at masasabi, di ko na kaya. Tumingin ka lang sa langit, baka sakaling may masumpungan. O di kaya ako'y tawagin, malaman mo kahit kailan. Hawak kamay, di kita iiwan sa paglakbay. Dito sa mundo walang katiyakan. Hawak kamay, di kita bibitawan sa paglalakbay. Sa mundo na kawalan, minsan madarama mo ang mundo. gumuguho sa ilalim ng iyong mga paa. At ang agos ng problema ay tinatangay ka. Tumingin ka lang sa langit, baka sakaling may masumpungan, o di kaya ako'y tawagin. Malaman mo kahit kailan, hawak kamay, di kita iiwan sa paglakbay. Dito sa mundo walang katiyakan, hawak kamay, di kita bibitawan sa paglalakbay. Sa mundo ng kawalan, huwag mong sabihin nag-iisa ka. Laging isipin may makakasama. Narito ako, narito ako. How kamay, di kita iwan sa paglakbay. Dito sa mundo walang katiyakan, how kamay, di kita bibitawan sa paglalakbay. Sa mundo na kawalan, sa mundo na kawalan, hawak kamay, hawak kamay, hawak kamay. Sa mundo ng kawalan. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us, KADSA. Once again, we are the Doc MYA Band.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This assembly has proven that despite our distance, we continue to strengthen our communion as one KADSA family. This afternoon has been filled with a lot of learnings. We were reminded that despite the challenges we face, brought about by the pandemic, we have a God telling us, huwag kang mangamba.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the privilege of speaking before this virtual gathering of delegates of the Kalookan Diocese Schools Association, or KADSA, an association established not only to provide holistic development to the Diocese of Caloocan, but envisioned to become a strong and thriving communion of Catholic schools in the district. KADSA family, gifted to give in faith and mission. The theme of this year's General Assembly centers on the values of solidarity and generosity, values that cannot be stressed enough in this day and age. With the COVID-19 pandemic and the many unprecedented challenges that it has brought with it, many of us lost our loved ones and were left to live in a world that no one has quite navigated in before. Many succumbed not only to the economic effects of this global health crisis, but to isolation and loneliness. Yet, this year was also a year when many of us showed great generosity, not only with their resources, but also with their time, patience, and understanding. This year, we were witness to many acts of unimaginable kindness and selflessness, with many of us even making the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of another. In the past 2 days, you were engaged in activities that were carefully planned to reflect the main objective of this year's assembly, to convene KADSA member schools so that each member will have come away with a deeper appreciation of what it means to be part of the KADSA family, our family. Indeed, as one family, we now make the commitment that we will not leave anyone behind, that we are one with those who need our help the most, and that we will rise above this pandemic together. To all delegates, I sincerely hope that your participation this year has inspired you even more to live a life with a strong sense of service and concern for your community and fellow men. May we all continue to serve with a happy, open heart, especially to those who are most vulnerable. Again, a good morning to all, and thank you very much.
Dear members of the MAPSA, fellow educators, dear brothers and sisters in the Lord, I unite myself with you in spirit as you gather together virtually for our General Assembly during this difficult year of the COVID-19 pandemic. The theme, "Be not afraid, I will make all things new," speaks volumes about the proper attitude that the Lord invites us to have as we continue to face this unprecedented crisis that has adversely affected not just our country but the whole world. Huwag kang mangamba. Ito ang pahayag ng Panginoon sa kanyang mga alagad nang magparamdam siya sa kanila sa gitna ng matinding bagyo at unos na kanilang pinagdaanan at nagdulot sa kanila ng matinding takot at pagkabalisa. Only with the Lord in our midst can we deal with this crisis in a manner that leads not to a breakdown but to a breakthrough. While the world is awaiting a new vaccine that will make it possible for us to return to normal, I hope you don't mind, or I hope you don't find it pessimistic. I hope you don't find it pessimistic of me to say prophetically that perhaps things are not meant to just return to normal, meaning to life as we got used to it before the pandemic happened. We will not heal together and survive this viral mutation unless we learn to deal with the more deadly virus of greed and arrogance in our very unequal societies. Perhaps God's real challenge to all of us is to take this year 2020 as a sabbatical year, an opportunity to dream together of a better world. I am basing this on the words that you borrowed from the book of Revelation and which you appended to "Be not afraid" for this year's theme. I will make all things new. God's creation is a continuous work in progress, and He has made us a part of this creative process. Let us take part in God's work of renewing the earth. Let us not just aspire to go back to normal. Let us dream rather of making things better.
This present year is the most disruptive year that our world today is in crisis, that affected our lives, our families, our work, our schools. But nonetheless, education must not stop. It is an ongoing process of growth even amidst pandemic. We, the Kalookan Diocese Schools Association, are not spared in this most trying and turbulent time, but it is an opportune time to renew our faith in God and expel the fears and uncertainties that this pandemic has wrought upon us. It is our renewed faith that will help us embrace a new beginning for our communities and our schools.
The holiday season reminds us of the child of Bethlehem, and that Christmas is not necessarily an easy time for many people, especially for those who fall victim of social and economic problems caused by the pandemic. We have to remember their plight with the totality of the mercy of God towards them, which is expressed in the vulnerability of a tiny newborn child in the most humble of circumstances, devoid of any security other than being totally loved.
Talagang tuloy na ang Pasko para sa ating lahat. As our country prepares to celebrate our 500 years of Christianity, with the theme "Gifted to Give," may this Saint Spirit be the focus of the real meaning of Christmas for each one of us. May we give as the Savior gave, to give of oneself and to share ourselves with one another, whatever we have and whatever we can during these very challenging times is a holy gift. We give as a remembrance of all the Savior has given us during these past years. May we make our journey to Bethlehem in spirit, taking with us a tender, caring heart as our gift to our loving Savior Jesus Christ. Maligayang Pasko, masagana, at mataimtim na bagong taon na pagbati sa ating lahat. Thank you.
Ka mangamba, di ka nag-iisa.
Sasamahan kita, saan man mapunta. Ika'y mahalaga sa aking mga mata.
Mahal kita. Minamahal kita.
Tinawag kita sa iyong pangalan.
Ikaw ay akin magpakailanman. Ako ang Panginoon mo at Diyos, tagapagligtas mo at tagatubos. Huwag kang di ka nag-isa. Sasamahan kita, saan man magpunta. Sa tubig kita'y sasagipin.
Sa apoy, ililigtas man din.
Ang Panginoon mo at Diyos, tagapagligtas mo at tagatubos. Huwag kang magamba, di ka nag-isa. Sasamahan kita, saan man
The Lord be with you. And may Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Jesus Christ our Savior.